Yo guys, what is up? 33 and a third RPM here, back today. Hopefully trying to crank out all these reviews, even though it officially comes out tomorrow, I believe, Revolution Radio. I'll push out all my Green Day reviews tonight. I'll try to at least to do all of this. I've been meaning to I really have been excited to get to Green Day, and it's a shame that I've never even seen a vinyl copy of 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours. I never have money when I find a Kerplunk or a Dookie one, so that's why today we're starting with Green Day's, I guess you would call it, official third release, fourth release, depending on what you go off of. This is Insomniac from, I believe, 1995 on the back here. Yes, that is correct. All right, so this is an album that mostly gets overlooked in a lot of cases because if you're honestly familiar with the 90s at all, Dookie was a big album. 1994, a big staple in the punk rock scene, and it's really cemented Green Day and launched them into stardom as, hey, this is a serious band that we can, crank some hits out of. They had songs off of their, like, Long View, Basket Case, and When I Come Around that were all charting singles, and obviously everyone after that was like, what are they going to do next? This project came out the next year, and everyone immediately flocked to it because, hey, it's new Green Day material. This should be awesome, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't think so. I kind of sit on the middle with this album. Yes, there are definitely good songs on here, but yeah, it's also one of the weaker Green Day projects. Now, that doesn't mean that is bad by any stretch. I think I would really only consider the bad Green Day album Dose out of their entire discography, but that doesn't mean it's as strong as some of their other releases. So, let's get into this album, and then at the end, I'll show you what's inside and stuff, and it'll be a good time. Alright, so, this album is the most punk that Green Day ever gets, and I'm going to say that it's even more punk than Kerplunk got. You can argue with me on that what you want, but this album opens up with the track Armitage Shanks. There are like 16 tracks on here, you can see all of them on the back here. I'll list them off. We got Armitage Shanks, Brat, Stuck With Me, Geek Stink Breath, that's a mouthful, No Pride, Babs Uvula Who, 86. On side B, we have Panic Song, Stewart in the Ave, Brain Stew, Jaded, Westbound Sign, Tightwad Hill, and Walking Contradiction. So 15 songs, sorry. This opens Armitage Shanks, which is honestly, I think, Trey Cool's best drumming on here. If you didn't know, Green Day is made up of Billy Joe Armstrong, who is their lead singer and guitarist, Mike Dirnt, who is their bass player, and Trey Cool, who is their drummer. They will acquire Jason White later in their career as not an official member, but someone who tours with them and plays guitar, especially on the albums. But he hasn't come until a little bit later. I think this is Trey's best drum in his entire album. On the first song, Armitage Shanks here, it just comes out with this rollicking drum riff that launches into these power chords, and you know it's a Green Day song from the moment it kicks in. This album really doesn't do too much in the way of musical complexity that's going to be a theme in Green Day's later albums, especially with their rock operas, which I think are both fantastic projects. We'll talk about that a little later. These songs rarely run over 3 minutes. They're all very punk, very raw. It sounds a lot like Demolicious, which was their Record Store Day release a couple of years ago. But once again, it doesn't mean that there's not good tracks on here. I point to songs like 86, one of my personal favorite Green Day songs, with a catchy chorus, some biting lyrics about not having a personality anymore, and just typical Green Day. If you know what the lyrics to Longview are, you'll pretty much love this album because there's a ton of that biting sarcasm style on here about, hey, we're punk, we're going to make whatever music we want, we're going to say whatever we want, and if you don't like it, you can go shove it. Other great songs in here, stuff like Stewart in the Ave, Brain Stew and Jaded Combo, Walking Contradiction, Tightwad Hill, Westbound Sign. Honestly, I think the second half of this album is really strong. I'm not too much of a fan of the first couple songs on here. I think Armitage Shanks, like I said before, is good. That's the first song. Then we get into songs like Brat, Stuck With Me, Geek Stink Breath, No Pride, and Babs Uvula Who. I couldn't really care for any of these songs, especially Geek Stink Breath. I'll go out of my way to avoid just because I find the lyrics are about someone who's like out of this world, like repulsing and stuff, and that's what this song is for me. I just don't want to listen to it. Sad to say that I have to say that about any of Green Day's material, but definitely one of my least favorite Green Day songs here. What's great about this album is how concise it is. These songs don't need to be longer than they are, like I mentioned before. This is just pure punk music. It's not even pop punk, which I guess you would maybe consider Dookie. This is punk music. There are curses thrown around like it's no tomorrow. There are power riffs galore and just thumping drum beats and bass lines of this entire thing that make this album truly fun to listen to. There are a ton of catchy songs on here, even if I don't think that the lyrical context or content is that great, or that any of the thing is super innovative. It's punk music, and punk music has always been fun to listen to. You know, especially at a party or something. It's a solid album. Things that I like about this album so much, like I said, it's catchy, it's punk, and the second half of this album really does have some of these these songs that just come in full force with like I said before, the sarcasm. Stuff like Westbound Sign is about a girlfriend leaving and the guy just kind of throwing her stuff out of the door as she's driving away. Walking Contradiction is just another like diss track on a guy, you know, the Green Day coming in with the original diss tracks there. Songs like Brain Stew are one of my favorite Green Day riffs, which is like 3 notes, and they just play it over and over again, and it's about not being able to sleep and just like counting the hours away. And that's a great song. Probably a tie between Brain Stew and 86 for my favorite songs on here. You know, fun fact, to this day, Brain Stew is still my ringtone, and I still have to air guitar every time it comes on. Like I said before, 86 is one of my favorite songs on here. 86 is biting, it's fast, it's fun, and I'm just going to wrap it up with that. There's not too much to say about this album because honestly, it's not that complex. It's just a fun record. But that doesn't mean it's great either. That doesn't mean it's horrible. Kind of sits in the middle with me. So, let's look at what we got here. Then I'll close this whole thing up and try to make this one a little bit shorter because I don't have too much to say here. Alright, this front cover, if you've seen like a CD version before or a digital version, it's only like, I don't even know, I'll try to trace it, like that much of the cover. I think it's super cool that the vinyl expands upon this. It's huge. You know, it says Green Day Insomniac. I don't even know what this is. Like a mother with a guitar with blue Billy Joe's guitar pointing a gun at some guy in like a coffin. I don't even know what this is. Guy with like that thing for measuring how you can see at the optometrist. The violin. Uncle Sam, 8-ball. This guy's doing like surgery. There's a monkey with a hat, and the whole world's on fire. I don't know. It's typical Green Day chaos. On the back here, we got more weird stuff. I don't even know what the heck that is. It looks like a gremlin. Army Man, Housewives, makeup. I don't know. Green Day stuff. Like I said, songs are on the bottom. Now, inside, honestly, one of my least favorite things about this release is the label on this record, weirdly enough. It's like mustard yellow. And there we go. There's the right side. That's side B. Can you even see that? It's going to focus. Do you want to focus? Focus. No, sorry. You can't even really see it, because honestly, it's really hard to see in person, too. It's like this silver text printed on this mustard label, and it just doesn't work well with my eyes for some reason. I'm not even going to try, I can't even see the other side. But, yeah, there's 7 songs on side A, and 7 songs on side B. I guess that makes it 14 songs. I counted 3 times, and every time I was wrong. That just shows you how good I am at math. Sadly, no insert or poster here, which is a shame, because when Green Day puts an insert or poster in there, like this American Idiot one, they're normally pretty awesome. But yeah, honestly, that's as much as I have to say for this album. If you like Green Day's earlier stuff, like Kerplunk, and especially Dookie, especially those 2 albums, even stuff like I'm going to cover next, Nimrod, their next album, you're definitely going to like this album. Definitely not to miss, even though it isn't one of the stronger releases, it's not, by a long shot, it's not the weakest release in Green Day's career. I'm going to sleep tight tonight, just giving this album a 7.5 out of 10 and saying it is a fun time to listen to. Alright, thank you guys for watching very much. Wow, that didn't even sound right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be cranking out videos, all these Green Day reviews soon, so if you like it, like these Green Day albums, leave a comment on your favorite album, tell me what your favorite songs are as I review them, thumb these videos up, all that is super appreciated, and subscribe if you want to see more Green Day reviews as they come out, and then hear me talk about Revolution Radio, a thing that comes out tomorrow. Either tomorrow or Saturday, and I'm super psyched for that. High hopes for that album based off the singles. Anyway, I'll stop elaborating and let you resume your normal lives if you made it to this point in the video so far. But my name is 33 1/3 RPM, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.